This is the Ethereum 1 month overview reading for the month of May 2024. It's currently April 13th, 2024, 9:48 p.m. Eastern Time. Ethereum at the time of this reading is currently $2,995.44. You can see we took this nosedive. These ellipses, if you follow along on my lives, you already know that these ellipses are areas where we expect the price level to meet as troughs if it's red and as peaks if it's green. You can see we've already established this one, and we're going to end up in this one, but we'll get into that in more detail. The May Ethereum reading was created on March 29, 2024 at 3:33 p.m. That's the video playing in the lower left corner. The overall theme and behavior for Ethereum in the month of May is a sideways fluctuating rally that precedes a decline. It's crossed with the establishment of support with sideways rotation, followed by a big move higher, and then sideways rotation at a higher support level. Behavior around the highest side, we have a sideways fluctuating decline that precedes a rally. It's kind of like the inverse of the Chariot card. Very, very similar energies, except it's like the reverse direction. The Empress card in the high correlator position also indicates it's very similar to seeing the Ace of Cups or the Princess of Cups in the high correlator position. It indicates a decline that we off of the high that offers opportunity to open up a long position before revisiting that high's price level or a higher one in the not too distant future. So we should see the high at least like again in the following month, or we'll revisit it in the same month. And then behavior around the lowest low for the month, we have a brief peak that's easily missed, followed by a decline through multiple support levels into the low. I'm going to get into the timing of the highest highs and the lowest lows, as well as the best trades and all of that, day-by-day chart behavior, all of that in just a moment. But before I do, I want to make sure that everybody's aware. The whole purpose of the channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. We do that by following the rule of karma for the channel. You go to the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders, and 5% of the profits from every profitable trade utilizing this information should be donated forward to one of these charities, or pick a charity of your choosing, as long as you're paying 5% forward, and then 5% should be sent back to the channel through one of these links. If you're international, you can use Wise, or you can use YouTube Tips, and that leaves you at 90%. Make sure to spend that 90% out of love. As long as you follow those rules, you follow the rule of karma for the channel, the universe considers you an angel investor. It's going to send it back to you tenfold for following through. Blessings to all my angel investors. Let's get back into it. All right, so on the first, we have out of a decline, a big move from the bottom of a range to the top of a range, and this should be a pretty significant move considering that it's a cross-reading congruency. It's the late April card of the 2024 reading. Sorry, it's the late May card of the 2024 reading. It's the late May card of the 2024 reading, so it has some significance, right? So this implies that there's a decline either in the morning here on the first, or there was a decline in the last day of the prior day's trading. Well, it looks like here in April we had a pretty notable decline off of a high, and we probably come back to that high here on the first or the second. Based on the strength card. So out of a decline from a big move higher from the bottom of the range to the top of the range, and then that rally ends on the second, there should be a pretty notable drop here into a lowest low, at least thus far, and then a big move out of that lowest low with a lot of volatility, probably taking us into the fourth, where we have like a notable reversal. So there's probably a crest of some kind again here on like the end of the day on the third or on the fourth. Notable decline, one of the biggest declines, if not the biggest decline, one of the biggest declines of the month here on the 5th into the 6th. The 6th is very likely a lowest low again. It's either a lowest low again, or it's a slightly higher low than the preceding lowest low. And we added the decline on the 6th. That decline ends towards the end of the day with a fast sudden move higher, and a trade opportunity in the midst of that move that I'll talk about in the paid version. And on the 7th, we probably have some sort of decline again off of that fast sudden move higher. The 7th, we have a prominent move higher and then a full retracement of that move. So between that fast sudden move higher ending the decline on the 6th and the 7th, there's probably a decline back off of that fast sudden move higher. And then we have a prominent move on the 7th to the upside, followed by a full retracement of that move. A similar kind of behavior on the 8th, but possibly with a higher peak. Trade opportunity there, I'll talk about in more detail in the paid version. On the 9th, we have... Well, this is crazy. This is like these three cards in a row are very, very similar patterns. So there's like some real price swinging going on here. On the 7th, prominent move higher, full retracement. On the 8th, prominent move higher through key resistance on a multi-day scale. We stay above it briefly, break back down through it with a full retracement. On the 9th, we have another big move to the upside, full retracement. On the 10th, we have price swings. On the 11th, we have a big move to the upside through key resistance. We stay above it briefly, break back down through it. Not necessarily with a full retracement, but it actually looks like it's probably more than a full retracement in this case. So really wild kind of back and forth behavior, up and down behavior going on from like the 6th into the 11th. And then on the 12th, we have this really sharp move. There's either some significant headwinds that really make us think we're going lower. And at first on the 12th, we do go lower. Or there's some sort of really scary chart behavior that forms on the 12th in the midst of this big move to the downside. And we would expect based on the chart behavior to go lower, but instead on the 13th, we have this big move higher, even in the face of seemingly overwhelming headwinds or chart behavior. That big move higher, there's a rally along a diagonal trend line on the 13th with a fast sudden move higher marking the end of that rally, and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility. And then on the 14th, a really sharp decline to a lowest low again, very possibly here on the 14th. It's probably just it could be a lowest low, but since the overall formation is a sideways fluctuating rally that precedes a decline, my sense is that it's not necessarily, it's probably just a prominent low that stands out. It might come back to like close to the lowest low or something, but it's probably not. The highest probable location of the lowest lows is here on the 3rd and the 6th, and then again here on the 27th. All right, so this decline early in the day on the 14th to a significant low, and then out of that we have slightly higher, so another move to the upside, and then probably a drop here before the end of the day on the 14th, or sideways rotation. On the 15th, we have a decline from key resistance. We rally into key resistance on a multi-day scale, and then we decline from that key resistance significantly, but then we should return back to that price level either on the 15th or it could be on the 16th or the 17th. Before we go any further, let's take a look and see how we're doing for April thus far. All right, so we have a lowest low on the 5th, and then like a highest high on the 6th, followed by another like significant drop, and it looks like it was more so on the 8th there. Missed that low by a couple of days, excuse me, missed that high by a couple of days, but then there was a sharp drop right there on the, not my finest work, the time is off quite a bit on this one, but we still kind of got the overall pattern as far as highs and lows. And we go from like this high almost immediately to like this lowest low here, which we have for the 15th, and then probably even lower as indicated here on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. This is not bad. It's not my best. This is when we do the actual review sentence by sentence. This is probably going to come out in like the 80s, which is pretty bad for one of our readings accuracy. But hey, we're not going to get them 100% right every single time. It's still more reliable information than you'll find anywhere else. And when you take a look and see at the April reading, it was created on February 2nd, 2024 at 8:54 p.m. Eastern time. Right there, February 2nd, 2024 at 8:54 p.m. Eastern time. So not bad for being a month ahead of the market. So with that said, if you're interested in the paid version, what you get in the paid version, my friends, is the timing of the best trades that we see throughout the month, as well as what chart behavior to look for on a one-day chart type of scale as far as the entry and the exit into and out of those trades. That way, if we're off a little bit on timing, you still know what type of chart behavior to look for. Sequence of events is always going to be accurate. Sometimes you have to give it like plus or minus a day of wiggle room, but the sequence of events remains the same. So when you combine the timing with the chart behavior to look for, it gives you a pretty solid idea of when to enter, when to exit. The only place in the world you can get this information ahead of the market. We also talk about price level information when we do extrapolate price level information. All of that in the paid version. It's a great way to support the channel. This is how you get it. If you're interested in the paid version, it's a really great way to support the channel. You're getting information in the paid version that you won't find anywhere else in the world. This is super undervalued information. Literally only place you can find it is at Tarot for Traders and the Investor Profit. What you're getting is the timing of the best trades, what type of trades to make, also what type of chart behavior to look for as far as entry and exit into and out of those trades. You get any trades from a multi-month and a multi-year standpoint, and then any price level information that we're able to extrapolate. This is super valuable information. People with the paid version are making money. So the way that you get the paid version, you go to our website, Tarot for Traders, you hover over our services, click on SO Meta Posts, and then you want to scroll down to monthly subscription, click here to order. You can subscribe to any one of these individual crypto or ticker symbols for $2.49 a month, or you can get the all paid version, which gives you access to all of these crypto and ticker symbols for $4.99 a month. Not to mention you are also getting any one-offs, any custom monthlies that people order for that month, and any monthlies that I do that are relevant to that part of the year. So there's going to be different monthlies coming out month to month, and you would have access to all of those paid versions through the all paid version. The most popular way to support the channel, and not to mention it's a really great way to get my attention. So thank you to everybody that goes ahead and does that, and let's get back into it. Okay, so on the 16th we have another, like, this is more like a pop and drop on the 16th, and there's a prominent peak there. So the drop on the 16th takes us into a trough in the morning on the 17th, and then we have this big move to the upside on the 17th to a highest high for the month. Kind of like three crisscrosses back and forth through the same price level on that day as well. Matter of fact, there's probably a highest high here somewhere around like this like around the 14th, 15th, where we have this Ace of Wands and Princess of Swords, and then we revisit it here on the 17th. Sideways rotation on the 18th, another prominent peak on the 18th, not a highest high, but a prominent peak, a prominent trough early in the day on the 19th, and a rally out of it. Yeah, rally out of it, increasing with momentum moving forward into a peak on the 20th. And the 20th, we should see a period of sideways rotation, establishing support, and then a big move to the upside. On the 21st, there is a prominent peak and also a prominent trough. There should be a lot of price change here on the 21st with the Princess of Discs and an important support level on a multi-day scale, possibly another highest high here. So it looks like the highs and the lows are really close to each other. In other words, there's some pretty sharp drops off of the highs. We might even see a lowest low for the year as well in there here. We're very likely seeing a highest high for the year. We have a cross-reading congruency for both of them, lowest low and a highest high for the year. So I think we probably see both of them a lot of price change there. On the 22nd, a period of volatility and a sharp drop that stands out in that period of volatility. Also a big move to the upside and an establishment of support with sideways rotation. On the 23rd, overall mixed kind of decline day, but there's a unicursal hexagram energy there indicating that there's probably a pretty big, there's either a really sharp drop there that'll stand out on the 1 month scale, and or there's a pivot point there to the downside. We have on the 24th, there's also another prominent peak in there on the cusp of the 23rd, 24th, and like sideways fluidity, equal amounts of bulls and bears, inflow and outflow on the 24th. So you usually see some sort of price swings there. 25th, another period of volatility that ends with a fast sudden move higher, taking us into another prominent peak. Might actually be another highest high. It's possible or close. And then on the 26th, we established support out of what was once resistance. Rally ends on the, or rally is halted on the 27th by a sharp decline through key support. There's also somebody speaking. There's something going, there's like a death there, or like somebody speaking about somebody who's been very like outward about it. There might be like a death of like one of like the main promoters of Ethereum. Something weird going on there with somebody that's very outspoken. But we have a lowest low there on the 27th, the 28th, probably lowest low again. It's one of those days or both. And then on the 28th, out of a trough, we have a big move to the, it's probably the 28th, but it could be both days. Probably decline from the 27th into the 28th. And then in the lowest low on the 28th, there's a big move, fast move higher, creating a peak on the 29th that we sell off from pretty notably on a 1 month chart scale. And then on the 30th, we have more sideways rotation that ends with a fast move higher. It's a big move from the bottom of the range all the way to the top of a range, taking us to a key resistance level on a 1-month chart scale there early in the day on the 31st, with a sharp drop off of that through multiple support levels. And there is a cross reading congruency there for this is the May high card of the May cluster on the 2024 reading. So it is possible that we come back to highs here. I mean, it is possible. It's not necessary because not necessarily because these cross reading congruencies don't always establish the right timing, but they usually appear in the time frame of the reading that that it happens. The sneak preview for the following month, we have a resistance level where we kind of like flatten out there. Actually, there's a big move from the bottom of a range to the top of a range on like a 1-year chart scale there, taking us to a high and that would make sense. There's a highest high there in June as well. So that's Ethereum for May 2024, my friends. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. As always, make sure to follow that rule of karma. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. It really helps out the channel. But most importantly, make sure to follow that rule of karma. Guys, there are people that don't do so hot, to be clear. I mean, most people I think do pretty well with this info, but it's not like you just get it right away, especially if you don't know how to trade right off the bat. But there are people that should have done well that didn't do so hot. And they talked to me later on, and in the midst of talking to them, they basically let me know that they weren't following the rule of karma. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. Like, you must, when you make that first trade and you make money, follow the rule of karma. Otherwise, you're gonna perpetuate not making money, even though you're right. You won't profit. It doesn't mean you won't lose. It doesn't mean you're gonna lose money, not necessarily. But if you want to profit and do really well, the whole purpose of this channel, it's a metaphysical channel, guys. You think I can do what I do and not protect the channel metaphysically? So make sure to follow that rule of karma and don't become one of those people who ends up losing money, even though there's like all this crazy information that should help you make money. Follow the rule of karma. It will benefit you. I promise you that. And with that said, stay tuned if you got the paid version. I'll see you guys on the next one.